Sorry. Maybe 2 inches, 3 inches. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Chapter 9.
Canto chapter 9.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Balarama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hey Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bola Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Haraya Nama, Krishna Yadavaya Nama, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namah. Hari Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita. Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavad-gita. Shri Rup Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. Ei Chai Goshai Kori Chanara Bandhan. Jaha Haite Bigdhana Shobhishta Puran. Ei Chai Goshai Jar Mohitaro Das. Tasabara Parareno Mora Panchagras. Ananda Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Padama Jayaman. Echai Goshai Jabe Braje Kolabash. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korilen Prakash. তাদের চরণে সেবী ভক্ত সঙ্গে বাস। তাদের চরণ সেবী ভক্ত সঙ্গে বাস। তাদের চরণ সেবী ভক্ত সঙ্গে বাস। এ জনমে জনমে হয় এই অভিলাষ। এই জনমে জনমে হয় এই অভিলাষ। এই মোরা এই অভিলাষ। এই জনমে জনমে হয় মোর এই অভিলাষ। বলো আনন্দ বলো হরি ভজ বৃন্দাবন। Shri Guru Vaishnava Padama Jayaman. Hey Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Padma Koriyash. Hari Nam Sankirtana Rashe Narottama Das. Bolo Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hare. Jaya Sachinandana Gaura Hare. Jai Krishna Balaram, Jai Krishna Balaram. Krishna Balaram, Jai Krishna Balaram. Hey Lalita Vishakha, Jai Radhe Sham. Lalita Vishakha, Jai Radhe Sham. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jayam Vishnupad Paramaham Sarjikacharya Stothrata Shishimad Shilabhai Charanarand Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Go Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jai Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandanam Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Radha Jai Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamahyam Darati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Utthapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're continuing our discussion of the Chatushloki of the Bhagavad-gita, and we're on the third verse of that quartet. This is chapter 10, text number 10. You can all repeat. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Translation: To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Let's repeat this. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In this verse, the word buddhi yogam is very significant. We may remember that in the second chapter, the Lord instructing Arjuna said that he had spoken to him of many things and that he would instruct him in the way of buddhi yoga. Now, buddhi yoga is explained. Which verse was this in chapter 2? Anybody remember? I forgot the number. 39, okay. Let's see just quickly what he says there. Esha te abhihita sankhye buddhir yoge tvimam shrino buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. Thus far I've described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now, listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruit of results. O son of Pritha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. There's a problem with gyan. What is the problem with gyan? One of my college professors actually put this very nicely one day. He said, there's no such thing as pure theory. You can't do anything with it because it's theory. As soon as you do something with it, it's no longer pure theory. This is the problem with gyan. Gyan is hypothetical. It's subjective. That's another thing. But Krishna has explained in the very beginning of the Bhagavad-gita, just to shake Arjuna out of the bodily concept of life, he's emphasized this aspect of spiritual awareness of your constitutional position as spirit. But he didn't say anything practical. So now in text 39, he's explaining to Arjuna, I'm going to tell you now how you actually apply this. Buddhya yukto yaya partha. And when you do that, what happens? Karma bandham prahasyasi. So listen, whole rest of the Bhagavad Gita is actually buddhi yoga. So here, Prabhupada is saying, this verse in particular, being one of the essential verses of Bhagavad Gita, has to mention this point. This buddhi yoga means actually bhakti yoga. So I'll continue Prabhupada's purport. He says, buddhi yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. We discussed this the other day. Maybe it was here, I don't remember. I've given so many lectures in the last month or so that every city is a blur. But When we act in Krishna consciousness, then we've actually applied the principles of Buddhi Yoga. As Prabhupada said here, Buddhi Yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness, and that is the highest intelligence. Hearing means acting. Just like I asked Govinda Charan, please bring me my chadar. Therefore the chadar is here. He heard. It's true. Sometimes people can't hear. We described this the other night in Sacramento, last night. Determination, intelligence also. Intelligence and determination in the three modes of material nature. They're described in which chapter? 18, text 35. Somebody who is in the mode of ignorance, he just can't hear. He just can't hear. No matter how many times you explain it to him, he just doesn't get it. I quoted the poet T.S. Eliot. From wrong to wrong, the exasperated spirit proceeds until redeemed by some refining fire. What does that mean? This is mode of ignorance. What does Krishna say about the mode of ignorance? Let's look ahead here. It's worth looking into this because we might be in the mode of ignorance. We have to find out. He says, Adharnamam dharmam iti ya manyate tamasavrata. This is text 32 of chapter 18. Sarvarthan viparitamscha buddhi sapartha tamasi. This is intelligence. Since we're talking about Buddhi Yoga, it's appropriate. So, striving always in the wrong direction. In other words, as I said, from wrong to wrong, the exasperated spirit proceeds. You just can't do anything right. It's kind of like when you're in Saturn. Nothing works, no matter what you do. So, adharmam dharmam iti ya manyate tamasavrta. When our intelligence is covered by the mode of ignorance, we think that dharma is actually adharma, and we think that adharma is dharma. It's exactly the wrong thing, exactly the opposite of what you need to do. What's another good example of tamasic intelligence? Monkeys. If you live in Vrindavan, you know very well what is a monkey. Monkey is synonymous with rascal. They're constantly busy, constantly using good intelligence. They're very keen, these little cheeky little rascals. They're very clever and they're very determined and they have all these qualifications, but they're constantly doing nuisance, destructive intelligence. This is tamoguna. So adharmam dharmam iti yamanyate tamasavrta. And therefore they're always doing the wrong thing. That is intelligence in the mode of ignorance. Okay, so we're talking about intelligence. How do we get the proper intelligence? Here, Srila Prabhupada writes, well, before we move on, another thing we can bookmark here. Chapter 7, text 19. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Somebody who's actually full in knowledge, that person surrenders to me. That's consonant with what Srila Prabhupada has written here. Buddhi Yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. When you do something, that shows. There was one time I remember, this is ages ago, and I won't mention any names, so nobody will be offended. There was one devotee, he was a problem. And they were all constantly trying to figure out what to do with this person because he was just causing problems all the time because of his mode. So Tamal Krishna Goswami asked me, he appeared to rectify himself at one point. And Tamal Krishna Goswami asked me, what do you think now? And I said, we'll see. So action. When you really understand, then you do something. What does Krishna say elsewhere in Bhagavad-gita about this? When one understands this power of mind, we read it the other night. I think it's text 7, no? Etam vibhutim yogam cha ityadi. So, he says, so vikalpena yogina yujjate natra samshaya. This is how Krishna introduces these 4 seed verses to the Bhagavad Gita. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. We all have some trajectory right now. We're on a trajectory. Where are we going? This poet Kabir, he says this. Kahan se aaya, kahan jayega, kuch malum karna, right? Akhira akela jana. In the end, well, where are you going? Who are you? What is that? Kona kisi se sala? No? Nobody, who's really your family member? We don't know anything about who we are. We don't know who we are, we don't know where we're going, we don't know where we've come from. Does that sound like the mode of ignorance? So, anyway, I don't want to dilate too much on that, but the point is that when one gets it, what Krishna is saying here in Bhagavad Gita, then he does something. Srila Prabhupada, we often point out, he uses this certain shibboleth that he uses throughout his books, a certain stock phrase that he repeats again and again. And one of them is transcendental loving service. Have we heard this? Does it sound like what we're hearing in this verse? Bhajatam priti purvakam. So it has to be transcendental. That means you have to be liberated. And it has to be loving, which means priti purvakam, as we've described. And service means you have to actually do something. Service just is not a sentiment. It's practical. Do something while you can. Jabalaga taname tapana vyape dabalaga kari hari seva. I remember in Seattle they printed some mantra cards. It shows the Maha Mantra and then it says, please chant this mantra while you can. Just to spur the intelligence into, wait a minute, what does that mean? So, this is the idea. Buddhi means intelligence, and yoga means mystic activities. Mystic, or mystic elevation. This word mystic is used twice here. What does it mean, mystic? Krishna consciousness is mystical. What does that mean? Mystic. Let's read on, I'll explain. When one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, and takes fully to Krishna consciousness in devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yoga. In other words, Buddhi Yoga is the process by which one gets out of entanglement of this material world. The ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. People do not know this. Therefore, the association of devotees and a bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna, and when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed, and the ultimate goal is achieved. We were discussing with some children last night in Sacramento. They were giving their reflections on Krishna consciousness. And so I pointed out to one of them that a problem well stated is a problem half solved. So this is Buddhi Yoga. This is why the word is used, Buddhi. It means intelligence. Strategize while you can. Where do you stand in this material nature? What are your anarthas? What is it that's snagging you? Those who have read Bhagavad-gita carefully, especially chapter 4, text number 10, you know there are 3 things that Krishna mentions that snag us to this material world. What are they? Raga, that means attachment to sense gratification. Everybody here has senses. You all know certain senses are attracted to certain things. You all know. We all have a set of senses. Every set of senses is a little different inclination, but everybody's got attachments to the senses. That's called raga. And bhaya. Bhaya means that we know that spiritual life, logically we can figure out that I'm going to die one day, and it would be a good idea to figure out what my trajectory is before that happens. because maybe I can do something about it. But we're not sure what spiritual life is, especially because virtually everyone who tells you anything in the modern day and age about spiritual life is going to give you some vague, sort of impersonal, wispy kind of very unclear idea. I like to tell people this. I read many editions of Bhagavad-gita in English before I came to Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad-gita, Yatharup, and I didn't understand them because the publishers also didn't understand them. Because they were not Bhagavad-gita Yatharup, as we say in Hindi, as it is. It was Bhagavad-gita Anyatharup. Somebody wants to use Bhagavad-gita to advance his own program and you know, build up a yoga society or a career or whatever they're doing. But, you know, it's not paramparagata. So, Buddhi Yoga means one has to think about where one is going. And this Bhagavad Gita has clear teachings about that. One has to be clear where one stands, and one has to have a strategy. Having understood what is one's present trajectory, because as I said, everybody has one, you're going somewhere. You just have to introspect a little bit and figure out, where is it that I'm going? What kind of attachment am I cultivating? What kind of attachment is required in order to get a human body? Do you know? What kind of attachment does it require if you want to take birth as a monkey or a dog or a tree? You have to know this. Otherwise you may be going to the wrong place. Yanti devavrata devan pitrin yanti pitravrataha bhutani yanti bhutejya. Krishna said, at least he implies this in Bhagavad Gita. He says, if you worship, what is it? Pitris, your forefather, you go to join them. If you worship, who else? Demigods, devatas, you will go to their places. If you worship the bhuts, you will go to those also. Wherever your attention, where you're investing your devotion, that's where you're going. Conditioned, of course, by your karma. Because you may want to join the pitris, but if your karmic credit line is not sufficient, then you're not going there. You can't buy a ticket if you want to take a plane if you don't have a valid credit card with an adequate credit line. So punya is like that. So we all have a trajectory. We have to think about where we're going. And Buddhi Yoga means that process. In other words, Buddhi Yoga is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. Now, the ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. People do not know this. Therefore, the association of devotees and a spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna, and when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed, and the ultimate goal is achieved. Bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhavam agataha, Krishna says. Many, many people in the past did this. He's telling Arjuna, he's encouraging Arjuna. Yes, it looks like it's more difficult to control the mind than it would be easier to stop a hurricane. This is what Arjuna said. We also feel this way. We really feel this way. And Krishna agrees. Yes, it's not easy. It is not easy. But you can do this. And how do you do that? You slay these three enemies: attachment, fear, and anger. I was describing fear. So fear means you know that spiritual life is something good. All the intelligence points in that direction, but you can't figure out what does it actually mean. Therefore, you're afraid. This is impersonalism. Generally, spiritual life in this day and age, it means either voidist philosophy, such as Buddhism or others, quasi-atheist sort of, semi-theistic systems, or you just get impersonalism, which is, again, the same thing in a different guise. Something vague. Now, how are you going to invest? How are you going to give up the tangible for something intangible? It's not smart. You have to have a clear idea what does spiritual life entail. Otherwise, you will remain afraid of it. And Prabhupada mentions this. because people have an unclear idea, sometimes they take shelter of intoxication. Rastafarians, no offense if anybody here is of that persuasion. They take shelter of intoxication and consider that to be spiritual. Or they get frustrated because they've seen so many things in the name of religion, or they've heard so many contradictory things, just like India. I remember when Asta television first came out, this is like in the late 1980s, what were they? One day it's the Buddhists, the next day it's the Muslims, then it's Hare Krishna, then it's the Swami Vivekananda, and then adi, adi, adi. Even a theologian will be completely confused. So you have to have a clear idea. What is spiritual life? And that clear idea, of course, should be based on Shastra, as we've mentioned. Where does Krishna say this? In Bhagavad-gita, he says it. 17, not 17. I'm thinking of another verse. Think 13. No. He said, we think about this whole science is presented with all reasoning as to cause and effect. In Brahma Sutra, Brahma Sutra padaishcheva hetumadbhir vinishchitehi. You have to learn how to vinishchita, means you have to discriminate. What is the proper path? What is the wrong path? And you have to do that on the basis of what the Shastra says, particularly Brahma Sutra. What is another name for Brahma Sutra? Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra. So that's the topic of another lecture, but the point is here that one should progress on this path slowly but progressively, and the ultimate goal will be achieved. If we follow, Narottam Das Thakur has said very nicely in Bengali language, Guru Sadhu Shastra Bhakko Chite Te Koriya Aiko, means whatever the Guru and the Sadhu and the Shastra says, you make that thing the same thing that your heart actually aspires to, and then you're fine. Easy thing. Simple pramana, this. Shabda pramana, we call it. Okay. That is the first paragraph. Second paragraph, there are 3 of them. The next 2 are not so long, in case anybody's bored. When a person knows the goal of life but is addicted to the fruits of activities, he is acting in karma yoga. To whom does this apply? Based on what we've just described from chapter 4, text 10. Raga, bhaya, krodha. Yeah, attachment. Attachment to sense gratification. So we're either attached to sense gratification or we're afraid of spiritual life, even if we're not attached to sense gratification, or we're just frustrated altogether and don't want to go there. People just dismiss spiritual life, they just don't even want to think about it. You see? These are, respectively, we call this raga, bhaya, krodha. And Srila Prabhupada's purport to that verse is masterful. Study it if you haven't already. There's a lot of repetition in that purport, but it's necessary that we get the point. And it's a very, very important one. Okay, so the first person, if he's pious, somebody who's ragi, you can say, attached to material sense gratification, when he acts in yoga, he's called a karma yogi. That is karma yoga. You're acting according to scriptural injunction, therefore you will not go to hell. You will be elevated. Hote, very gradually, over the course of many lifetimes, generally. What happens if a person is not pious? Because, let's face it, 90% of us are not acting in terms of scriptural injunctions most of the time. Then what happens? Is that called karma also? It's called vikarma. So then we're practicing vikarma yoga, right? Somebody's shaking his head. Somebody's nodding, somebody's shaking no. There's no such thing as vikarma yoga. Vikarma yoga takes you to hell because it's not really yoga. Yoga means a process of elevation. Vikarma to vikarma hai, bas. If it's not punya, then it's necessarily it's pap. If it's not dharma, then there's only one other option, adharma. So that has to be taken into consideration. Now, when one knows that the goal is Krishna, but he takes pleasure in mental speculations to understand Krishna, he's acting in Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga. With respect to Krishna consciousness, we may call these two Karma Mishra Bhakti and Jnana Mishra Bhakti, mixed devotional service, alloyed devotional service, just like we were discussing before. When you take certain metals and you fuse them together, that's called an alloy. When you have pure metal, say pure silver, 95% silver, otherwise it's too soft, that's considered sterling silver. Gold also, we do like this. So bhakti is actually beyond these two, beyond karma and beyond jnana. When one knows that the goal and seeks Krishna completely in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in bhakti yoga or buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga is like the beginning stage of bhakti yoga. Prabhupada has also explained this. It's immature bhakti. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a wonderful analogy about this. He says, green mango and red mango. What is the difference? Those who are, well, here we only have one kind of mango, Mexican mango. That doesn't count. Real mangoes, bharat mein hi hote hain. So, when a green mango has certain properties, and those properties are, in terms of your health, if you ingest it, they're the opposite of the red mango. Lekin they're both mangoes. Both of them are mangoes. So it is with Krishna consciousness. When we're sincerely striving only for bhakti, but we're immature, then that's okay, as long as you are acting under the sponsorship of a spiritual guardian, which is called the spiritual master, which is why Srila Prabhupada said the spiritual master is very important. We require a sponsor for our souls, so to speak. And when we're acting on his instructions, then our spiritual advancement is tangible. It is acceptable, even if it's immature. Just like when we're children, we want to, it's Father's Day, right? When is Father's Day? Today, yeah, so I should mention this. When we're children, we want to buy something for the father. Every child, at least in America, they do this. What do they buy for their father? It's always the same thing. What is it? It's a tie. You buy a tie for your father. Now, the father has so many ties, he probably doesn't even like the tie that you chose, but because it's offered with love, this is the point. Oh, I like this tie. He'll wear it just to remember his son because of love. So bhakti is a little bit like that. Krishna doesn't need anything from us. There's no question of need. And even we're offering something that is faulty. This is the point. But because it's I want to say, what is this? Sanctioned, authorized by our spiritual master when we're working under his direction. Therefore, it's an acceptable offering. Otherwise, maybe not. Okay? Spiritual master is necessary for that reason. Yasya prasadad bhagavat prasado. If he is pleased and the spiritual master is pleased, then that means Bhagavan is also pleased. Okay, so this complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of life. Third paragraph, final paragraph. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to a spiritual organization, but if he's still not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. We say God helps those who help themselves, and Krishna says himself, later on in this Bhagavad-gita, chapter 15, what does he say about this? Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannavishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. If you want knowledge, he will give you knowledge. If you want to be bewildered, he will bewilder you. He'll give you anything you want. Just like when we go to Tirupati, what do people usually pray for? They usually mundane things they're praying. He's actually Sripati, the goddess of fortune, the goddess of fortune. Any fortune you would want, she's in charge, and she's his wife. and he's Sri Pati, the Lord of Tree. He can give you anything you want. So don't ask for a $5 bill. He can give you crores. I mean, don't ask for crores either. Because in the larger scope of things, to be a crorepati is also a very minuscule, not really a great attainment. Why? Because it's going to run out. Everything does. Everything does. Nothing is forever in this world. Everything. Adi antavanta kaunteya nate shuramate buddha. The smart people, Krishna says, they don't indulge in this stuff because they know anything with a beginning and an end, it's cursed. I'm gonna ultimately suffer from this. Did we mention this here? Either you get it and lose it, or you can't get it, or you get it and you like it, but you're taken out somehow or other. It's only temporary. Any material thing you ask for, you're just asking for frustration, because ultimately that's what's going to happen. Then you move from the raga category to the bhaya and krodha categories. Sometimes they get mad at God, right? You took away my son, only son. So many, it happens. It's true, everything. There's no promises. Nothing's fair. Life is what it is. And generally our fate is created by whom? Only us. Bhagavan didn't create our fate. We created our fate. That's another matter also. Okay, so Krishna gives instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty, if that's what you want. But you have to choose. This is the point. Human life is like a junction. One side you can go towards raga, or you can go towards bhaya, or you can go towards krodha. Fine. Nobody's going to stop you. Krishna will facilitate. If that's what you want, yes. Come on, I'll give you all facility. Be careful what you pray for, because you just might get it. People go to these tantrics or these, did I mention this here? They want some Vajikaran mantra or something, but they try to manipulate the material energy to get some desire fulfilled. And you may get the desire fulfilled, but is it what you really want? Will it really satisfy you? Will it not cause further problems? All of our paltry calculations are flawed. And even if they're perfect, they're temporary. So what are you asking for? When you go to Sripati, when you go to Bhagavan, ask for that thing that only he can give you. What is that verse? Tasyaiva heto prayateta kovido. We mentioned this. So, this is the important thing. Now, the qualification is that a person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness with love and devotion, rendering all kinds of services. This is all you have to do. Four simple things Krishna says twice in Bhagavad-gita. What are they? Manmana, think about me. He just wants you to think about him sometimes. Actually, he wants you to think about him all the time. The Christians have this saying, he's a jealous God. But think about me. It's the easy thing. We can do it. We can always do it. It's within our power. No matter how much or how little facility you have, you can always think of God. And to make it easier, what does he say? What does he say in chapter 10 is full of examples and vibhutis that we can remember him. When we drink water, Srila Prabhupada said, we remember, what does Krishna say? Rasoham apsu kaunteya, rasoham. Prabhasmi shashi surya yoho. Raise your hand if you saw the sun today. Yes, every day we see. Or the moon, same. So when you see the sun, you think, Krishna surya sama maya hoy andhakar. Jaha Krishna, taha maya nahi adhikar. It's very encouraging, isn't it? Krishna is just like the sun. So, this is Krishna consciousness. Anybody can do this. Manmana. Bhavam adbhakto. Okay, is that a little harder? Well, maybe it's the next step. Be my devotee. Bow down. What does it mean to be a devotee? Bow down to me. worship me. We can do these things. Anybody can do these things. It's so easy. So the person is, here Prabhupada says, the qualification is that a person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness with love and devotion. When we come to the temple, do we just immediately start unloading on Krishna all of the problems that he has to solve? Generally, that's what we do, isn't it? Oh, Krishna, I'm having such a hard time. Please. How many people actually, honestly, how many of you come to the temple every day and say, Krishna, I love you. Tell me what I can do for you. Some of you, I know you're all Krishna consciousness. You do this already. But in general, people don't do this. And even we have to practice because we're conditioned. But this is all. Bhajatam priti purvakam. Now how do you love Krishna? How do you love your family members? There are 5 rasas, no? And we exchange them with everybody in this world. If we're not in a neutral relationship with someone, then we have a master-servant relationship. Somebody's better, we're inferior. Or we have friends. We all have parents. We all have some special person that we love. Madhurya rasa. The rasas are there. This thing, Krishna says, just for me. You see? Easy. It's actually very, I should say it's a simple thing. Simple doesn't always mean easy. Why? Because we're conditioned. For how many lifetimes? Who knows? Prachin kala se. From ancient history, we're stuck in this trajectory that we mentioned earlier, which is trying to exploit Krishna's things, trying to deny Krishna's authority, trying to, sometimes when we're sahajiyas, we even try to enjoy Krishna himself. You see? So this is our problem. We have envy in the heart. It's infected our heart. So how do we remove that infection? You all know. In Kali Yuga, there's one simple process. We chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Very simple thing, only 3 words. Anybody can learn it in 5 minutes. Therefore, we spent an hour doing it. Because we need to do this. This is the real... Call his name sincerely. Say, please help me to love you. And see what happens. I was telling someone the other day, there's a beautiful prayer by Rupa Goswami in his Padyavali. He says, Dvijastrinam bhakte mriduni vidurane vrajagavam dadhikshire sakyo sporta chepeta moshto murarepo yashodayastanye vrajadyuvididate madhunite Yathasi ramodastam imamupahare pikurutam. When we're devotees, according to Krishna's instructions, whatever we eat, what is the verse? Yad karoshi yarashnasi, yad johoshi dadasi yad tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva mad arpanam. Krishna says, whatever you eat, offer to me. Then we're freed from karma. So devotees do this. When we offer something to Krishna, he says, we can pray like this. Krishna, I'm useless. But if you are I know how kind you are. You please take this humble offering that I'm presenting to you, and you accept it in the same way that you took the foodstuffs offered by whom? Dvijastri. The Dvijastris. Who are they? The Yajnik Brahmana's wives in Vrindavan. I used to live in that place. I moved now. Still in Vrindavan, but no longer in that spot. They call it Atula Chongi now. That's the neighborhood. They're developing it. It used to be forest land. But Krishna Balaram went there one time, and they were praying from the Yajnik Brahmanas, we're hungry. Can you give us something to eat? And the Brahmins said, go away, we're doing a yajna. But the women were soft-hearted. They fed Krishna, and Krishna ate very nicely. And the Brahmins realized that our wives got love of Godhead from this, and look at us, we're stuck with this Brahminical pride. So just as you took the Yajnik Brahmins' presentations, what else? Dvijastrinam? Dvijastrinam bhakte mridura virurane vrajagavam Just as you ate the coarse food that Vidura was giving you, sag, coarse, nothing special. Or just as you took the milk of Vraja's cows, Vrajagavam, dadhi kshire sakyuhu, spurta chipeta mushtau, just as you took the chipped rice out of your friend's hand, Sudama Kuchela, and Muraripu, or enemy of Murari, Yashodaya stanye, just as you appreciated the breast milk of Yashoda. Yashodaya stanye, Vraja yuvati datte madhunite, and just as you appreciated the sweets offered to you by the young girls of Vrindavan. In the same way, please accept this offering. Just come before Krishna and pray like this and see what happens. He might just do it. If we ask Krishna for love of Godhead, then he'll give us. But you have to ask, and we do that by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, one should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be with love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress in the path of self-realization, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to him. This is something we can all experience. Maybe we already have experienced this, depending on what you've done with your human form of life so far. You may have experienced that Krishna gives you the proper guidance. I've experienced it. I think we've all experienced to some degree. So, these are a few things we can think about. It's not much time left, but Srila Prabhupada actually quotes this verse in his purport to Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 9, text number 5. This is when Yashoda is boiling milk in the kitchen at the same time that she's feeding Krishna with her breast milk. He wakes up. How does he wake up? What wakes him up in the morning, Krishna? Dadhi matana ninadais tyakta nidrapa bhate. At dawn, the sound of churning butter breaks his sleep because he hears this. The women are wearing these bangles and it's making noise, and he hears that noise and he knows what that noise means. Dadhi matana ninadaihi tyakta nidrapa bhate nibritam padamagadam vallavinam pravishtaha. He enters into the gopis' houses on stealthy little footprints. And what does he do once he's there? Mukha kamala shamirair ashu nirvapya dipan. With a puff of lotus breath from his lotus mouth, he puts out the lamps. Nobody can see what's happening next. Then, kavalita navanita patu gopala balam. May that Bala Gopal protect me, because his mouth is full of fresh butter. This is Krishna's program, every day. But one day, there were too many activities going on. What day was it? Deepanvita, Diwali. Diwali, there's so much dhoom-dham is going on, right? So all the gopis were engaged, all the servants in Mother Yashoda's house were busy with other things. Yashoda herself is churning, and Yashoda is singing songs about Krishna. This is what they do in the spiritual world. We discussed it the other day. Matchitta madgata prana, ityadi. That's another one of the verses of this section. So she was singing beautiful songs with love. You can imagine. Yashoda, nobody loves Krishna more than Yashoda. Nemam virinchi na bhavo, na shrirapyanga sangshraya, prasadam lebhire gopi, yet tat prapa vimuktidat. Not Lord Shiva, not Lord Brahma, not even Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, got such mercy from this boy, Mukunda, as Yashoda got. So she has so much love. Attracted by that and attracted by the butter, Krishna came out and he indicated to Yashoda that her first business is to give him her breast milk. So very happily she complied. She held him up and she's giving him breast milk. Then she realized the sound is there. She had to put him down quickly and run into the kitchen, and Krishna didn't like this. He didn't like this. So Prabhupada writes about this. Tam ankam arudham apaya yatstanam snehasnutam sasmitam ikshati mukham. She was smiling. Atriptam utsrijya javena sayaya utsityamane payasitva dhishrate. This is Bhagavatam. Shukdev Goswami tells us. Mother Yashoda then embraced Krishna, allowed him to sit down on her lap, and began to look upon the face of the Lord with great love and affection. Because of her intense affection, milk was flowing from her breast already. Even before she put her breast into his mouth, the milk was already there because she loved him so much. But when she saw that the milk pan on the oven was boiling over, she immediately left her son to take care of the overflowing milk, although the child was not yet fully satisfied with drinking the milk of his mother's breast. Purport: everything in the household affairs of Mother Yashoda was meant for Krishna. Although Krishna was drinking the breast milk of Mother Yashoda, when she saw that the milk pan in the kitchen was overflowing, she had to take care of it immediately, and thus she left her son, who then became very angry, not having been fully satisfied with drinking the milk of her breast. Sometimes one must take care of more than one item of important business for the same purpose. Therefore, Mother Yashoda was not unjust when she left her son to take care of the overflowing milk. On the platform of love and affection, it is the duty of the devotee to do one thing first and other things later. Because the milk on the stove was also for Krishna, and the milk of her breast is also for Krishna. This is Prabhupada's point. The proper intuition by which to do this is given by Krishna. Tesham satati yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayandite. In Krishna consciousness, everything is dynamic. Krishna guides the devotee in what to do first and what to do next on the platform of absolute truth. I will share, in closing, my own personal experience. In 1976, I first joined the temple in San Diego. It's a long story, but I didn't know where the temple was. But I went to San Diego on the bus, and I got out in the bus stop downtown. And I just started walking, and Krishna guided me straight to the temple. I knew only that the temple is on 3rd Street, and I arbitrarily started walking in some direction, and eventually I came, here's 3rd Street. So I took a left turn, it was a T intersection, and I just kept walking, and I eventually came straight to the temple. This is one example of how this can happen. It actually happened. So Krishna can guide us. If we want to surrender to Krishna, Krishna will tell us what to do and what not to do. Sometimes we say conscience. We have conscience. It's a little troublesome sometimes. You have to temper that sense of what to do and what not to do with what the Guru, the Sadhu, and the Shastra says, as we've already discussed. But Krishna from within the heart, if we're sincere, 100%, then he will give instructions what to do. All right, I'm going to stop here, but if anybody has any questions or any comments, maybe we can discuss. I know there's not much time. Yes? I have a microphone.
Prabhuji, thank you so much. Very wonderful class. I was wondering that you said that to be able to fly, you need to have Lakshmi. So in that analogy, I was just thinking that, we have our past conditionings because of which even if we want to fly, we might be poor. Then what to do?
Krishna will give us the intelligence how to deal with the situation. But Krishna has given us the intelligence how to deal with the situation in chapter 7, text number 28, which is Jorse. We should eradicate our past sinful reactions so that our problems are minimized. And we should be careful to stay within the realm of piety, within our Krishna consciousness, so that we don't create new problems. This is the general paradigm. Other than that, as we are sincere and as we are calling out to Krishna for help, and especially if we take shelter of his representatives, the pure devotees, their spiritual master, then Krishna will give guidance how to deal with whatever the problem is.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the conditioning that a person comes with. As the years pass by, of course, the conditioning reduces a lot, but you still have the conditioning.
Yeah.
How long does a person take to really get rid of all the conditioning?
It's very slow. It doesn't happen very quickly, but that's okay because, it takes all kinds. Krishna says in the 11th canto, Paraswabhava karmani na prashamsen na garhayat. Another person's conditional nature and the activities that proceed from that conditional nature, this thing we should be careful not to praise it too much. If you praise it, the person becomes encouraged in mundane life, which is entangling. But you should not criticize also, because if you criticize, then that's all the guy has to work with. He's going to be discouraged, you see. So, na prashamse nagarhayat. What do you do instead? Vishwam ekatmakam pashyan prakritya purushena cha. That means you just view all the manifestation of the Lord as the interplay of Purusha and Prakriti. It's matter and spirit, or, you can interpret Purusha Prakriti in various ways. Devotee sees Radha and Krishna. But the idea is that there's a place for everything and everyone in this world, and all you have is what you are at the moment. You offer that. You offer that. But within the grammar, so to speak, within the framework of Guru Sadhu Shastra Vakya. This is the point. Is that okay? Yeah. All right, anything else? No questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavata Pranam. Actually, sometimes I feel these kind of shlokas are for not for us, because it says Tesham Satat Yuktanam, means Satat means every time.
Good.
And anybody I don't think is in that position who does all these things. Yes. Then only God gives help. If he's, for example, it says Tesham Satat Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. Both seems impossible for me. For example, Satat Yuktanam and Priti Purvakam. Then only he will give me Buddhi Yoga, which feels it is quite impossible for that I will get Buddhi Yoga.
You're 100% correct about that.
So what is this for me in this?
That's why we have spiritual masters. I said, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. We can't figure out what's happening. We can't even follow strictly, but if we follow something, then we gradually begin our process of devotional service. As we said, immature mango is also a mango. If the spiritual master is happy with you, it doesn't matter if you follow all the time or not. If he's happy with you, you get some mercy. From that mercy, the Bhagavan is happy with you, you advance. How does it happen? I told you to bookmark this term, mystical. You can't understand how it happens, but it happens. It's mystical. This is the point of the Acharya's commentaries on this verse, Baladev Vidyabhushan as well as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. It happens inscrutably. Somehow or other, when Krishna is happy, we make advancement. We become freed from our anarthas. We're no longer chained to this dying animal that we call the material body.
And another thing, Maharaj, you told that when we come to Lord, we ask for our problems and all that. But that is what it is. It is with me that I feel that it is genuine to ask for these problems. To say, I love you, I am not in that state. But so is that bad, or what should I do? Because I am in that state, so I have to ask for that problems.
You're 100% correct. You have to do what you can. This is what we are. But the idea is that there's a higher ideal. This is the point. Krishna's at least hinting here that the ideal is that you should be all the time engaged. So begin where you are. You add Krishna. You work under the direction of the superiors, like spiritual master, devotees, and then you advance. You come to Krishna and you pray, please help me to serve you selflessly, and you chant Hare Krishna, and you will advance. It happens. Everybody has to start somewhere. Even Krishna admits elsewhere. Where? Chapter 7. He admits that nobody comes fully mature in their devotion. Everybody's got some agenda in the beginning. Everybody's imperfect in so many ways. 4 kinds. Who are they? He's curious. He's maybe, he's looking for money. He's trying to get free from his miseries. All sorts of motives that people have when they come to Krishna. But once you come to Krishna, then he helps. This is the point. You just, whatever degree you can get, you can pray to him, he will reciprocate. Yayatha mam prapadyante tanstathaiva bhajami, he says. But understand how this works. If you pray more sincerely, he reciprocates more sincerely. It's according to what you invest. We want to invest elsewhere. This is our problem. We want to invest our faith and our assets and our love elsewhere. Therefore, he steps away. That's what we want. That's what he gives. Is it clear? The ball is always in our court. This is the point. All right. I think maybe one more. We have one or 2 minutes only.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for the very inspirational class. You mentioned a very important point that by chanting the holy name, we can get rid of the envy that is there in our heart. My question is, how do we properly chant the holy name?
That's the science of Krishna consciousness. We keep in the association of devotees because everything else will happen in that association. Adau Shraddha, you have some faith, you invest it in satsanga. As a result of that sadhu sangha, atha bhajana kriya, anartha nivriti syat. Gradually all the dirt is cleansed from our hearts as we're chanting in good association. It's simple, but it may take some time. It doesn't happen overnight. We should be patient. Patient, determined. We should follow strictly according to the Shastras, etc. We should avoid non-devotional association. That unwraps a lot of the things that we've accomplished, unravels them. So we should, 6 things Rupa Goswami advises in his Upadeshamritam. Is that okay? All right. Until they blow the conch.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Actually, you clarified this Buddhi Yoga and Bhakti Yoga very nicely, which was always confusing to me. So, one question I had was, does Bhakti Yoga already involve karma and jnana in it? Because we do activities and we also try to read the philosophy and things like that. So,
I've been talking about this for many days.
Yeah, I missed you.
Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhinavratam. Bhakti is free from karma and jnana. But at the same time, bhakti consists only of karma and jnana. So what do? You work under the direction of a spiritual master, and that when you're doing that, then the so-called karma, it no longer remains karma, it becomes akarma. Brahmarthapanam brahma havir brahmagno brahmanahutam ityadi. Chapter 4, text 24. Same thing with jnana. Dibya jnana hriday prakashito. The spiritual master is giving. Janma karma chame divyam. These things are all divya. When we're acting properly in devotional service. When we're concocting, that's another matter. But when we're properly sponsored, as I mentioned, then everything becomes transcendental. Okay? All right, I think we have to stop now. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
His Grace Mukunda Datta Prabhu ki jai. Sadhu, sadhu. Jai